So we have UFC 309, Jones versus Miocic this weekend. So you know why we're here. Got to break this whole card down, each fight by fight, explain who I think's going to win and why. And yeah, man, what a card. Such a good card, bro. I'm so hyped for this main event. It's just going to be a great one, you know? It's just going to be an event. No, it's going to be fucking terrible, boys. But it does not matter. No matter how shit the events get, I will be here breaking them down, okay? Because it don't even feel like we're fans of this sport anymore. We're just enslaved to it, the addiction. But it doesn't matter why we're here. We're here, so let's break it down. Starting off with the first fight of the night, we have Veronica Hardy taking on Eduarda Mora. And with that, this is just a Marauder versus Marauder fight. Yeah, I don't know who these people are. No, I know who Veronica Hardy is, right? She's married to the guy, Hardy, whoever that guy is, you know. I know who she is, boys. Eduarda has a lot less experience here, obviously, only having 3 fights in the UFC. Coming off a loss to Denis Gomez, who just got a pretty impressive win, I guess. It's not the best loss, not the worst one in the world. It doesn't matter, all right? It doesn't matter because Veronica Hardy's going to win by decision, okay, like she does. She's on like a 3 or 4 win streak. Just straight decisions, boys. Split, majority, doesn't matter. She's going to decision, all right? She has no finish potential, while Mora actually does have finish potential. The 2 fights she's won in the UFC have been finishes, okay? She can sub people, she can finish them. Now, those finishes were not impressive. The TKO was terrible. The sub was lucky. All right, the sub wasn't lucky, but I don't know. I'm just not that impressed with Mora. I think Veronica Hardy will just out-decision her, outstrike her slightly, and yeah, who gives a fuck, boys? We'll go with Veronica Hardy by decision. Moving on, next we got Basil Hafez taking on Oben Elliott. And I honestly, I don't really know who Oben Elliott is. I don't. I've watched some of the fights. He's pretty new here to the UFC, obviously. And he apparently has a good amount of hype behind him. I didn't realize this. I didn't realize he had a fan base. Good old Welshman, Welsh boy. Yeah, he's the heavy favorite in this matchup, and I didn't realize, I didn't look at the odds till now. I went with Basil. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna stick with it too. I don't give a fuck. All right, Basil, a real tough guy, man. He's just gonna out tough you. You just knock. Okay, I don't know. He's cool. He's good. He's well rounded. I think if he needs to, he's gonna mix in the takedowns. Apparently he's on steroids or whatever. So, yeah, he's gonna win. You know? Nah, I don't know. I don't really know that whole steroid situation. He just never got tested for a really long time or something. Something like that happened with a big controversy. I don't really know. But I think Basil Fez is good. I think his power is shit. I think he's all thud, no actual power. He just has a lot of thud and can throw a lot of oomph into it. He doesn't really actually have real power, real knockout power, real ability to chin people. He just hits people really hard, and it never really does much, unfortunately. And I don't really know why Oben Elliott's getting so much hype. I watched his Preston Parkins fight. I don't really think he won it that clearly. I don't know. I guess he did. I don't know, man. I just don't really think his performances have been that impressive, and he doesn't really have any finishes. He doesn't have any in the UFC. So, I don't really know what this hype is coming from. He looks good, but I think Basil will just outgas tank him. He'll mix in the grappling and get the better of it. He's stronger. He's buffer. He's more tested in the UFC. Yeah, I think Basil Fez is going to get this done. I think he's a good underdog here. I'm going to go with him by probably pretty close decision. I could see this one being a really competitive fight, to be honest. Then we got Mickey Gall, the guy who just got beat up by Basil Fez, taking on Ramiz Brahimaj. And I don't really know a lot about Ramiz, I'm going to be real. Pretty unexperienced in the UFC. Decent grappler. I think his grappling is pretty impressive. And I think that's what'll be his key to victory here. I think Mickey Gall's a tough guy, really good chin, decent grappler. You know, he can hang in the grappling, but he's a tall, kind of awkward guy. Throws really slow jabs and hooks where he's just constantly open for counter takedowns, I think. And I think it's really going to fuck with him in this match. Mickey Gall is also, his record's 7-6, bro. Why is he in the UFC still? Like, he's fighting for his right to be here. I'm going to be real. So, I'm going to pick against him. I don't care if he's fighting for his right to be here. That don't mean shit. I've thought about that in a lot of past fight predictions. It doesn't matter, all right? If anything, that makes it worse. You know, it's just so much pressure on their head. They just can't do it. So I'm going to go Ramiz here. I think he's just way more well-rounded. I think he's just quicker. His grappling's better. And his body type is just going to be better in this matchup. You know, he's the shorter, stockier guy. He'll be able to mix in the grappling well against a tall, awkward guy. You know, I'm chatting a lot of bullshit with this reasoning, but I think Mickey Gall is going to lose this one. I don't think he's too good. I don't think either of the guys are that good, but, you know, we'll go with the slightly better-looking one in Ramiz. Moving on, next we have a bit of a great fight, yeah. Marson Tabura, yeah, I'd love to fight him. I'd love to fight him again. I think we'd have a great trilogy. But no. Why the fuck is Marson Tabura this far down? Why? He doesn't deserve this. He should be on the main card over some of these fucking people that are on it. Jesus Christ. He's taking on Hinata Denis, who was just supposed to fight Derek Lewis, right? If I'm not wrong in saying that. I think that was what the fight that was going to happen, but it never happened because Derek Lewis's fat ass pulled out to go eat Popeyes or something. Sure he's enjoying himself. No payday. You dumbass. Derek, you're going to be in the game for like another year or two, and you're pulling out of fights. What are you doing, my boy? Don't matter, though. I think that Marson Tybura is going to show his crafty vetness, his experience, his fucking time in the octagon. He's had like 20 fights in the UFC. This dude is a vet of the game. But he's not that old yet. You know, I think Marson Tybura, ignore all the memes, ignore fucking Aspinall hyping him up for no reason whatsoever when he made such quick work of him. I think he's good. I do think he's good. I think he's a good fighter for heavyweight. I think he's well-rounded. I think he can out-grapple you and hang in the striking as well. And as long as he doesn't get knocked out by Denis, I think he wins this fight no matter what. You know, I think he wins by grappling, by gas tank, by outstriking him late in the later rounds. I think Hoinato is just... Hoinato, what the fuck? Honata? I don't know. Denis, we're calling him Denis. Denis is just kind of another heavyweight who can hit hard, decent defensive and offensive grappling, but when it comes down to it, he's just a fat ass who runs out of gas tank. And Marson is fat, but at least he has decent gas tank in there, alright? At least he can stay on his fucking 2 feet and not just die from pure exhaustion like someone we know, you know? Yeah, the big old lobster. We know who we're talking about. I mean, that's just most of the heavyweight division, though. It doesn't matter. Marson Tybura is better. He should win this fight. I know Denis is undefeated, but who gives a fuck? Dude, remember the last time we actually valued being undefeated at these weight classes, bro? Do you remember when we did that? Yeah. Anthony Smith subbed the guy, so fuck that. These undefeated fat guys do not matter. I'm going with the crafty vet in Marson Tybura. Give me him by decision or late round finish. Late fight finish. And just when you think this card is going to be decent, you know, the prelims will make up for it. They'll be decently fun. Of course, 2 fights fall out tonight. Literally, I started the predictions, working on them yesterday or the day before, and now making them not even that close to the fight day. 2 fights are already done. How does that happen? They both fell out in the same day? Bullshit, bro. This fucking sport's falling apart due to injuries and people just pulling out because they're lazy. But we got Jim Miller taking on Damone Jackson. And I'm going to be real. I'm picking Damone Jackson. It's unfortunate, but I think Jim Miller's done. It's sad to say. He didn't even look that bad in the Bobby Green fight. But he took so much damage in that fight. It actually was uncomfortable to watch. I hated that fight. I actually stopped watching it. I did. That was one of the only fights during 300 I got bored of and just looked at something else because I was just like, this is sad. This is just a beatdown. This sucks. I did not enjoy that fight. He had success early against King Green. Fucking King, bro. Can't believe he did that. But he had some early success rocking him somewhat, you know. But I just don't think that's enough. Bobby Green is so chinny these days. I think that's the only reason he did that. And Damone Jackson's no pushover, okay? He's coming off a win, I think. He goes like 1, and he'll win 1, lose 1, win 1, lose 1. He's one of those guys in the UFC, I'm pretty sure. He's decent, you know, he has some decent wins. I don't think he's that good. I don't think Damone Jackson is, like, going to be anything. But he's going to beat Jim Miller, okay? He's going to beat him easily. He's just going to outpace him, youth him. He's just going to outland him, outvolume him, I think, pretty easily. Unless Jim Miller can get a finish early or implement the grappling somehow. I don't think so. Damone's pretty well-rounded, pretty good grappler. I don't know. Jim Miller, I hope he retires. What a crafty vet. What a GOAT. Was in the fucking sport for so long. Put on so many good fights for us. Thank you, bro. You can rest now. It's cool, all right? Unless you want to keep making money. You do you, bro. I'm going to go with Damone Jackson, though. By KO. Sorry, bro. Moving on to a kind of just another situation like the last fight. We got another old guy who has a bunch of injuries, a bunch of damage taken, bunch of layoffs. Chris Weidman taking on Eric Anders. I don't know who the fuck Eric Anders is, but I don't know a lot of these guys on this card. This card sucks. But I do, again, think Eric Anders is good enough to beat a Chris Weidman at this stage in his career. He's just not good anymore. He didn't even look that bad against Bruno Silva, but the way he was just deliberately cheating and just refusing to not stop cheating, I think that says a lot about how his mindset is in the octagon. He does not believe in himself anymore. He clearly doesn't, or he wouldn't be cheating 1-2 eye-poking TKOing people. That's just crazy to me. I don't know how the fuck that happened, how that actually got, ref. He would not stop eye-poking him, and you take no points away. You do nothing. You just let it happen. Refs are genuinely so brain-dead it hurts. I think this will just be a slow, brutal beatdown where Eric's just going to beat up his injured legs. It's going to fuck him up. Again, unless Chris Weidman can get a early, somewhat crazy movie-type finish, then I don't see him doing it. I don't see him outgassing Eric Anders, especially at this age. And yeah, Eric Anders has some decent kicks. I think one of his best parts of his game are his thick-ass legs. He has some huge-ass quads on him. And he has some good leg kicks. Good kick game. I think he's going to fuck with Chris Weidman bad. Give me Eric by leg kick TKO. I don't know. Moving on to a actual really good fight. This is probably the third best fight on the card, which is so sad. Probably the Charles versus Chandler is the best, and then Jones Stipe, and then probably this one. Jonathan Martinez taking on Marcus McGee. Now, I love this matchup. I love it so much. The untested Marcus McGee, the powerhouse, the juggernaut. He's so jacked, it's insane for this weight class. He's shorter, obviously, but Marcus McGee is fucking jacked. He has so much power, so much strength, so much will in there. He's a cool guy, too. I like him. I like him on social media and shit. He's cool, whatever. But I'm going to go Jonathan Martinez here. I am. I'm not giving up on Jonathan Martinez just because he lost to a washed up Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo is dude, he looks just as good as he has in performances 4 or 5 years ago. He looks so good. Obviously, he doesn't implement the leg kicks like he used to. His game has changed a bit, whether that's because of injuries and what his body's capable of anymore. I don't know. But I think Jonathan Martinez is still very good. He may have lost some confidence after that last performance. Wasn't his best performance. Very plotty in that performance. I don't know why. Probably because he was just facing a legend and it fucked with his mind. I don't know. I mean, we'll never know, but maybe Jose just was better than him that night. That's also a possibility. I can't believe people are taking that loss as a bad thing. Martinez is not done, all right? This kid's good. He's a lot of potential. Has a lot of wins, a lot of experience in the UFC already. I think he's still really young, so don't sleep on this kid, all right? I think he's going to get this done by decision pretty handily, as long as he doesn't get finished, which Marcus McGee has power, but I really haven't been impressed by his knockouts as of late. I think they've all been early stoppages, low-key. Maybe not all of them, but his most recent one was definitely an early stoppage. Just, yeah. I mean, you can't do much about it. The refs ruin the sport all the time, but whatever. I think Jonathan Martinez is going to beat up that leg. He's just going to outstrike him. I think he will. As long as he doesn't get grapple fucked, I think he'll outstrike Marcus McGee pretty handily. Give me him by decision. Moving on to the main card of the fucking pay-per-view. An $80 pay-per-view right here, boys. Let's go, all right? I'm buying it. I know I am. I'm not. We got Mauricio Ruffy taking on James Leontop. Now, Leontop? I don't know. But I'm going to go Mauricio Ruffy. I think 99% of humans on this earth are. I don't know who the fuck's picking Leontop here as the underdog. He's not good, all right? He's just not. And Mauricio Ruffy is amazing. We all know he is the fighting nerd, the hyped up prospect of 155, the next McGregor. You know, he fights like McGregor used to, that karate style. I agree with that. You know, I don't think he fights too similarly to him. You know, I think people are getting a little too ahead of themselves with that. I think his kicking game is similar. I think his stance is similar. But other than that, I don't think his striking is that similar. I think he's way more dynamic, way better of a grappler. He's way more comfortable with his jiu-jitsu. I think he's going to use his jiu-jitsu and get subs in the future a lot. I think that'll be a big part of his game. But obviously, he's a striker. Obviously. So, I'm going to pick him to get this one done by first round TKO. He better. You know, we're expecting that. So, get it done, bro. You have a lot riding on you. Live up to the hype. Next, we got Viviane Araujo taking on Karine Silva. And I think, honestly, these two girls are they're both pretty good. I do think they're both really good. I don't think they deserve to be on this main card of the pay-per-view, but I think Karine Silva is good. I've seen a decent amount of hate on her. Like, she's not that good. Like, she isn't an undefeated prospect who's subbing everybody. She's good. I don't know where's the hate. She's bad at striking, obviously, but she's a big girl. She's good size for the division. She outsizes these bitches easily. She sits on them, she smothers them, and she subs them. You know, a smudge grappler is only boring until they don't sub the person, you know? So, I'm sticking with Karine Silva here. Give me her by very dominant decision or sub. Probably second or third round sub, because that's most of where her subs come from. It takes her a little while, you know? Gotta get her a little tired first, then she'll usually get the sub. But yeah, I don't think Viviane is going to knock her out, which I think is the only reason, or the only way she'll win this fight. Or unless her takedown defense is just really good and she just outstrikes Karine Silva for 3 rounds. That could happen, but no. Give me Karine by decision. Next, we got Bo Nichols. We got him taking on Paul Craig. And this is a good one, all right? This is an actual good fight. I literally forgot about this. This is obviously the third best fight. I don't know what I was talking about earlier. This fight is good. But Bo Nichols is still a bot. All right, don't like him. You can't make me. He's still boring as a person. You know, he's a pretty boring fighter too. You know, if he didn't sub Cody Bumdage, this dude's hype will be gone. That's all I'm saying. All right, there's the difference between his career. And I know Bo Nichols has some knockouts, you know. He has a knockout over Val Woodburn, the Marauder, who got cut already. You know, he's not a good striker. Bo Nichols striking is probably the most goofiest shit I've ever watched in my life. He has decent hands. He has decent power, you know. He can hurt people. I'm not saying he can't. Clearly can. But he's not that good. Like, he's so awkward, and he just goes in and out of the pocket so unnaturally. It's so ugly to watch, and just... I think he's going to get knocked the fuck out. That's what I'm trying to say here. I don't think he can strike with the intent of defending at the same time. I don't think he's capable of it. I just don't. So, I'm going to pick Paul Craig here, all right? And that ain't even the reason, okay? I think Paul Craig's going to sub him. I do. I think he's going to get him. You know, I think he's going to sub him. I think he's going to get him, bro. I do. And, you know, Cody Bumdage is a decent grappler, but... if you think Bo Nichols is just going to take, like, Paul Craig down, the master of jiu-jitsu, like, he's not going to sub him. So he's going to have to either take him down for 3 rounds and control him because he's not outstriking Paul Craig. Paul Craig is a way better kicker, way better striker, and he probably hits harder too, you know. I know he has a terrible chin, but he's not getting chinned by Bo Nichols. That will not happen. I know this is a crazy pick. Bo Nichols the crazy favorite, but I think this is where he gets fraud checked. Not because he's bad. He's good, but I think he's not that... I don't think he's that good, okay? I think this is the type of matchup he loses. He gets nervous. He pulls a chail, shoves his head into a fucking, like, arm triangle or whatever, and just gets subbed. Just gets put to sleep. and that's what Paul Craig's going to do, his angry little ass, finally getting a win over a prospect too. Oh, he's not letting go of that sub. You're going to sleep, Bo. Get ready. You ain't going fishing the next day, buddy. All right, give me Paul Craig by submission. I don't give a fuck. Then we have Charles Oliveira. I beat a champion. Charles do Bronx. He's taking on Michael Chandler. Good old Iron Mike. Coming off of a 2-year layoff after being McGregor's bitch for a little while. He just got bored with it. He's had enough of the humiliation fetish. He's done with it. He's ready to play ball. All right, but give me Charles Oliveira do Bronx by first or second round sub. Now, I am actually someone who thinks Michael Chandler is a threat. I think he's a real threat at this division. I think he's good. I think he's crazy athletic. I think he has some of the, he's probably the most dangerous first-round fighter of all time. And I know that's crazy to say, but he might be. His round one, when he has that gas tank full of fucking gas still, you are not safe, okay? No matter who you are, no matter if you're Islam, if you're Khabib, if you're Charles, you're in danger, and you could get knocked out, especially with how Charles looked on the feet against Arman in the later rounds. I'm not liking it. But I'm obviously going to pick Charles Oliveira to win. Even if he gets hurt on the feet, he'll come back. He'll find a way, okay? And Chandler will shoot one of his dumbass takedowns, all strength, all power, all athleticism, no skill or technique. He'll shoot it. He'll shove his head into that fucking guard, and he's getting subbed. Charles is jumping on that guillotine, and he's subbing him. He's going to have a sub over Michael Chandler, and he's going to have a knockout over him. He's going to be his daddy, okay? He's going to put him to sleep on pay-per-view, okay? Give me Charles Oliveira by submission. And if Chandler wins, I'm killing myself. I'm done. Then we got the main event. Jonathan Bones Jones taking on Stippy. Big old Stippy. Stippy Miocic, all right? Stippy. Why the fuck are you here, Stipe? Why are you in this match? Go fucking fight the fires, bro. Wildfires are a real threat right now in the world. Go fight them. I don't give a fuck about you fighting for the heavyweight championship. I really don't, man. I just don't want to see this shit. And it's not even because... No, it is because this matchup is terrible. This matchup will be fun. It will be hype. We're going to see the GOAT of heavyweight versus the GOAT of the sport. It's going to be a spectacle. The last time the GOAT's fighting, John Jones, I get it. But it's just not the matchup we want to see. I'd even be fine with Jones versus Alex just because it's an actual crazy super fight. This, if that was the matchup they were doing to fuck Aspinall over and say, hold up, bro, wait a minute, then we'll give you your belt, I wouldn't be as mad. I'd still be mad, but this is just blasphemy. Stipe hasn't fought in almost 4 years, coming off of one of the most brutal KOs of all time. He's not gonna win. God does not fucking care, alright? God has excluded John Jones from this shit. He's the devil. Sometimes the devil is more powerful and wins, okay? There's nothing we can do here. I sound like I'm gonna fucking cry, because I am. Fuck this. I don't want to see this fight. And yeah, when it comes down to it, Stipe is a good grappler, but Jones is better. He's going to use that 205 light man skill to come up. Probably sub Stipe in 2. If not, he'll take him down and TKO him with elbows. It doesn't matter. That's what's going to happen. One of those two. And if Stipe can TKO him in the first or second, good on you, Stipe. Embarrass this clown. I am rooting for it to happen. Trust me, boys. But it's not gonna, okay? This dude has way too much plot armor. He's not going to be the GOAT for his whole career and lose to Stipe at the end of it. Good old Stippy. It's not going to happen. So, yeah, give me John Jones by TKO or sub in the second round. He's going to finish him. It's going to be sad. But if Stipe can bring him to decision, that will be a moral victory. It really will be. Do you know how much we're going to make fun of you, Jones, if you don't finish this dude? It's going to be bad. But, yeah, that's the whole card, boys. Good old 309. Can't wait. Man, I just hope 310 gets here fast because that card's hype. Even though we haven't got the replacement main event yet. That card's still hype. It already has a main event and backup with Pantoja versus Kai. So we're good on 310 no matter what. Unless that fight falls apart. Then we're fucked. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.